Welcome to Keeping It G with G, the podcast. I'm your host, Gian, but you can call me G. Hence, Keeping It G with G, the podcast. To keep it G means to maintain a level of respect for oneself and those around you. And that is why this show was created, to have an open, honest, vulnerable, and accountable discussion about the ups and downs of everyday life shit as it pertains to self-improvement, love, relationships, and motherhood. So in hopes of me sharing through personal experiences from the lessons I've learned and still learning, I pray that I can shed light and share some gems that will give you that extra push that you may need as we are all growing and learning through life. I'm here to reassure my listeners that it's okay to keep it G while on your journey. Now let's start the show. Welcome to episode 63 of Keeping It G with G, the podcast. For this week's episode, I want to discuss the importance of healing, boundaries, honoring yourself, and how to not skip the healing process. Reason being is because I've dealt with this firsthand. Like I said previously, I have been faced with a life-changing situation, and I was ignoring the fact that I needed to heal. And the reason I knew I needed to heal was because when situations would come up regarding this issue, I'd still be easily triggered. And this is how I knew. I was like, come on, G. You have some healing to do. Let's put these grown woman pants on and go to work so that you can go through the fields, be accountable, and bring everything to the forefront for your sake. And so that's what I begin to do. This could pertain to any type of loss that may have caused you hurt or grief, or any situation that has caused you pain, like a friendship coming to an end, a relationship coming to an end, losing a job, someone passing away, anything that you were attached to emotionally at one point, but now it has come to an end for whatever reason, because it happens. Life does happen, and most times it's when you had no plans of it ending, or you were not in preparation or expecting it to, but it does. I want to share with you guys something about healing that I've learned personally. It's important that you do not skip this process. You have to bring your feelings to the forefront, all the emotions and feelings that you feel regarding this issue, to get the closure that you need. Again, do not skip this process. Give yourself the space and opportunity to heal and bring whatever unsettling feelings you have to the forefront. That means bringing your shit and facing it head up with being accountable, leaning on your support system, leaning on your friends and family, leaning on a therapist. But just whatever you do, do not skip the process and do not sweep it under the rug. Because this same shit will be brought to your doorstep each time until you face it head up. And along with that, in order for you to not keep making the same mistakes, you have to face it and acknowledge it. I'm only sharing this because I've been through this scenario of trying to hit the ground running and just feeling like I'm okay and that I could just, that eventually I would get over it. But you can't be in a rush to get to the next step of life instead of acknowledging the fact that we need to heal and sit with ourselves for a while before we are ready to walk into the next phase or chapter of our lives. You have to really sit with yourself. We have to really sit with ourselves for a while. And this is something that as an adult, I feel like a lot of people ignore doing because they feel like they have to put on this strong armor and just keep it going regardless. But that is how mental illness gets birthed, because people just shove it aside. And if people have a down moment and then people are up again because they talk it out, that doesn't mean that they feel well automatically. It takes time. And I feel like a lot of times we don't put the time or effort into our loved ones or even ourselves for that support and that healing that needs to take place. It's like life has to keep going, and you gotta just, the mindset is that you have to keep going, and in a sense you do, but that doesn't mean that you have to ignore the fact of things that you have been faced with or that you have been going with, because it's just not healthy. And of course, everyone deals differently, and I get it. We're all from different walks of life, but I want to encourage you to not skip the process of healing and to do all that you need to do to heal healthily and properly. Is very important. And for those asking, what do you do if someone denies you of your healing by failing to acknowledge the hurt that they may have caused you and what you should do about it? This could be attempting to embark on any trauma, relationship, friendship ending, or even a job ending. Anything you've been through, but you were forced to face with the disappointment, of something not going as you planned, and it hurt you in any way. My advice to you is to still move forward with your healing process, but just to not sweep it under the rug, and to not allow people that are close to you to sweep it under the rug either. You have to learn to have the audacity and the courage to call them out on their shit. Especially if it's somebody that you feel like you love and trust and that you feel like should be there for you. Of course, everybody goes through their own shit. So while you're going through something, the person that you're leaning on for support could be going through something too. So you also have to take that into account and show empathy towards them as well, because you never know. That's why I feel like it's so important for us to ask people how they're feeling or how they're doing frequently, because you don't know what people are going through. And this is some real shit. People will tell you that they can't complain, that they're doing well, this, that, and the third, and they could be having a whole battle within themselves. And I know, because I see it so often. Because hell, honestly, I've been there too. I'm not there right now, because you have to learn to work through your shit and to lean on your support system for help and get therapy. But you still have to move forward, with your healing process, because it's necessary for you as it pertains to your growth. But that doesn't mean sweep that shit under the rug. And it's not to allow anyone else that is supposedly loving and caring for you to do the same. You have to be willing to hold yourself accountable and to hold those around you that you spend the most time with accountable too, for them to be there for you if they're able to, like I said, because everybody goes through shit. But this goes back to my closure episode. Sometimes you may not get the closure or the support that you feel you deserve, and that's okay. Even if it doesn't look like what it's supposed to look like as far as your closure and gaining it, still move through it, because God will give you the strength to do so. If you have absolutely no one to lean on, God will give you the strength to get through. Do not skip the healing process, because it can be detrimental to your growth. And you will continue to carry this shit on and on with the relationship, through the relationships and friendships. If you're a parent, you'll continue to repeat the cycle. So I say that to say, excuse me, I'm getting tongue tied and tongue twisted because this is a very passionate topic that I am discussing right now. So I'm going to try to breathe a little bit and slow my roll because I don't want to be fumbling my words, but I mean what I say when I say this. A conversation doesn't always need to be had for there to be closure or for you to heal. Sometimes you have to really start the healing process on your own and be at peace with the fact that you may never get that closure or that talk that you feel like you deserve or that apology. They have already showed you what it was and what it wasn't. Liberate yourself from the anger, the resentment, and the bitterness and the guilt tripping through acceptance. Stop giving it your energy and allowing it to steal your peace. Look inward and forward to what's to come and be at peace with what has already been done and what's already in the past. There is no time limit. Please don't get it twisted. There is no time limit on how long it will take you to heal. But it's important that you pay attention to the signs and when you're easily being triggered in certain instances, because that's a sign that you have not healed. So take heed to that and be accountable so that you're able to give yourself the space to heal in the way that you need to. Don't sweep it under the rug. Let it make you better, not bitter. Trust divine timing and understand that what is for you is for you, and what's not, God has something better and He will remove it. And so in closing, I want to share a quote with you as it pertains to this episode. It says, "I make myself an example by showcasing my healing process because I want people to know that there is nothing wrong with it or you. Everything you've been through has shaped you into who you are today. Even your weaknesses are strengths when you learn to tap into that and utilize it correctly." And I will leave you guys with that. Please don't skip the healing process. Sit with yourself. Don't sweep it under the rug. Hold yourself accountable and those around you who you feel should be your support system accountable as well. And that's it. That's all. I'm going to leave you guys with that. I don't want to hold you too long because this episode can get really fast, as if it already hasn't. And so I just really want to touch on this subject because I feel like it's very important as it pertains to just life in general, because we all go through shit and the world is moving fast and it's so easy to not stay and be present because it's always some shit going on, something new. But it's important that you sit with a lot of shit because it helps you to be present and to feel it and really enjoy it. Enjoy the process, even if it hurts. And so I just wanted to really talk about the process of healing and the importance of that for the sake of ourselves. So no announcements at the end of this episode. I'll just leave you guys with that message, and I hope that this episode will reach those who need to hear it most. And that's the show. I will talk to you guys for the next episode of Keeping It G with G, the podcast.